have a great deal of respect for Secretary Yellen, but right now I think they got it wrong. You know, we have a shrinking economy. We have slower job growth. We've got still raging inflation. And, you know, while you're tempted to ask, how could you get it so wrong? The real question is, why are you continuing to get it wrong? Because the secretary and the administration still is pursuing major spending bills with higher taxes that'll drive inflation worse. And there's real concerns as well about this global minimum tax and its impact here on America. So I think I'm very respectful of the secretary, but I think she'll face some tough questions.
Hey, Congressman, we were talking with Mohamed Al-Arian earlier, and he made the point, and I don't know if you agree with it, that in this sort of priority list of how we got here today, he was actually putting the administration and actually the money that was funneled from Congress to the rest of America, I think he put it at number 4 on his list of reasons why the inflation problem that we're suffering from today. He put, obviously, the Fed at the very top, put Ukraine on that list as well. You think that's right, wrong?
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't put Ukraine to the top of that. Inflation was already nearly 8% when that war was launched. Certainly, it doubled in the first 2 months of President Biden's office, took off after the nearly $2 trillion American Rescue Plan. So no doubt, fueling spending, incentives that kept workers disconnected from their job were major, I think, creators of inflation. And then not addressing at all the supply chain crisis in any meaningful way, all of which drove inflation, still does today. And I think my worry is we've got an economy that's in a wage price spiral. We have a looming recession, and about 80% of Americans say the president's economic performance is poor. I think those are probably driving some Democrats to have an agenda separate from the president.
Yeah, Congressman, the Secretary Yellen's recent comments were kind of characterized as a mea culpa, but they really weren't. They were more, well, given what I know now, I was wrong, but I didn't know about Putin, and I didn't know COVID was going to be so persistent. And so but apparently she does say that she had some concern about the size of the American Rescue Plan at 1.9 trillion. And so looking back on that, I don't know what she thinks about it, but she was fully on board at the end of the year, selling the Build Back Better for $4 trillion. And that's where I think the difference between when she was Fed chief and when she's part of an administration, she's got to sell the whatever it is that they're selling at the time. But how could you be for that $4 trillion if even the 1.9 trillion you were questioning? And maybe we needed that 1.9 trillion. I don't know about people staying home and being able not to work and all the things that happened from that. But certainly that made more sense than the subsequent $4 trillion that they were proposing. But she was on board.
No, she was more than on board. Secretary is one of the most respected members of the cabinet. There's no question about it. So her words matter, coming especially from her Fed background. So when she was urging Congress to act now and act big repeatedly, and she assured us at the time that she did not believe that the American Rescue Plan would create any inflationary pressure, she was dead wrong there. And then her pursuit of even bigger spending in the future. And at the time, by the way, you may remember, inflation was already 2.7% before the American Rescue Plan, well over the Fed's target rates when they were urging more spending in these packages. So, yeah, I'm a little skeptical about that claim. I wish she would have gotten it right the first time. But now the question is, are you going to start getting it right? Because they're still pursuing the taxes, the spending, I think some of the same problems that have fueled inflation.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.